I'm Doug Keck. This is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Just had the pleasure of speaking with an old friend, famous host, Marcus Grodi of The Journey Home. His book, Guideposts for the Journey Home, published by EWTN Publishing, Conversion Stories with Marcus Grodi is the subtitle, and it's available naturally through our EWTN Religious Catalog. So Marcus, these interviews that are featured in here are from your many, many years, 25 plus years of doing the program, but these are actually not so much focused on the conversion stories themselves, but on a broader question for each of these guests, right?
Yeah, at some point during the many years, we wanted to bring some previous guests back to give them more time to answer audience questions. So these feature more of their answers to questions from phone calls or emails, which allows Scott Hahn and Mother Angelica, Stephen Mosier, Father Grischel, and Alice von Hildebrand to kind of address a wider issue of Catholic questions. So
it's kind of the best of both worlds, because you get a little bit of that conversion story, and then at the same time, you get them answering some of the questions that people had for them.
Yeah, that's right. And I love it because you think about any of those guests, they have a tremendous theological, philosophical, doctrinal, scriptural background. And when they get a question through the phone call, all of a sudden they got to bring all that down into a very simple, condensed answer. So we get some great stuff in this book, and I think your crew that put this book together did an excellent job.
Right. So, and one of them was Steve Mosier on population research. Kind of interesting out of the ones that picked his particular one, but it's very prescient today because this myth of overpopulation is still, it's amazing how many young people believe this.
That chapter, again, as I just said, you're getting a glimpse at a much bigger picture that offers answers to the craziness we're going through right now. And Steve was seeing it years ago in the trajectory of it. And so, when you look at some of this crazy stuff we hear today, there's a trajectory and that it's been on. Any time in the past, if there had been leaders willing to die for the faith, we might have stopped some of these things, but there were compromises all along. Here we are.
Right, and it's why it's impacting. Many times we're getting this kind of, people don't know what they're binary, they're non-binary, or lots of people deciding, well, I really don't want to have kids because either I don't know, it's overpopulated, I don't want to damage the earth, or some other silly stuff.
I mean, hey, when a human being is conceived biologically, we know whether it's a man or a woman. But where does the devil work? The devil works in here, in our feelings, the whispers. And so if we have, as who was the guy that did the rest of the story? You know, I mean, Paul Harvey. He had an old talk about if I were the devil. Yeah, he talked about that, right? And he said the first thing I'll do is I'll convince the world I don't exist. Why? Because I can whisper in their ears and they don't know it's me. Right. And we're seeing that in spades today. And Steve Mosier was talking about the impact that he saw in China that opened his mind not only to this issue, but eventually to the church.
Right, absolutely. Just one of the many stories, including Father Benedict Groeschel, featured Alice von Hildebrand as well. And it's Guideposts for the Journey Home, Conversion Stories with Marcus Grodi, proudly published by EWTN Publishing, again, available through our EWTN Religious Catalog. Look for the entire interview on our on-demand page and also on our YouTube channel, and an audio version on our Podcast Central. And of course, look for it coming to the network soon. I'm Doug Keck. This has been a Bookmark Brief. Thanks for stopping by.